Brussels, 1897. A ceremonial shovel cuts into Belgian soil. Applause breaks out as construction begins on another grand project. King Leopold II stands nearby, watching his lifelong ambition take shape, a transformed Brussels filled with monumental buildings, museums, and wide boulevards meant to rival Europe's greatest capitals. Leopold calls this progress. He even jokes that the money behind it is stunning funds. At the very same moment, thousands of miles away, another shovel moves dirt, not for a palace, but into a pit in Central Africa. This soil falls onto severed human hands. Not in Belgium, but in the Congo Free State, a territory owned personally by the same man. These two scenes are inseparable. The beauty of one exists because of the horror of the other. The Builder King in Belgium, Leopold II, was remembered as a capable and forward-looking monarch. During his long reign, the country experienced economic growth and political reform. Education expanded. Workers gained limited protections. Voting rights broadened. Belgium remained stable, neutral, and prosperous. At home, Leopold was not a tyrant. But Leopold ruled another land, one he never once visited, with absolute power. A private empire. From a young age, Leopold was obsessed with empire. He studied European colonial models and admired systems built on forced labor. When traditional colonial routes failed, he set his sights on Central Africa, one of the last regions not fully claimed by European powers. Using humanitarian language, he created organizations that claimed to bring civilization, free trade, and an end to slavery. In reality, they were covers. At international conferences, backed by vague treaties obtained from local leaders who could not read them, Leopold secured control of an enormous territory, the Congo Free State. It was not a Belgian colony. It was his personal property. Total control. Leopold declared all unused land to be state land, meaning his land. That gave him control over forests, rivers, and every valuable resource. The people living there were forced to work for wages he set himself. When ivory profits declined, attention shifted to rubber. Demand was exploding worldwide. Leopold rushed to extract as much as possible, as fast as possible. Rule by terror. Villages were given rubber quotas impossible to meet. Leopold's private army enforced them, using violence as policy. Beatings, hostage-taking, executions, and systematic mutilation. Women and children were kidnapped to pressure men to work faster. Hands were cut off as punishment or as proof that bullets hadn't been wasted. Soldiers were forced to account for every round of ammunition with a human limb. This brutality wasn't chaos. It was administration. Exposure and denial reports of abuse eventually leaked. Missionaries, travelers, and activists described widespread atrocities. Writers and journalists amplified the evidence. International outrage grew. Leopold's response was not reform, but denial. He funded propaganda campaigns, hired friendly writers, and dismissed critics as liars. Meanwhile, the wealth extracted from the Congo continued to flow into Europe, into monuments, boulevards, and royal projects. The end of the Free State. By the early 1900s, the scandal became impossible to ignore. Under intense pressure, the Belgian government forced Leopold to surrender control of the Congo. Before doing so, he ordered many records destroyed. His alleged words were chilling. "They have no right to know what I did there." Leopold died rich, untouched by trial, untouched by punishment. A lasting wound. Historians estimate that millions of people died during his rule, through violence, starvation, disease, and exhaustion. The systems he built didn't vanish with him. Forced extraction, armed control of resources, and violence for profit would echo through Congo's history for generations. Leopold II may have ruled with marble and ceremony in Europe, but his true legacy was written in blood elsewhere. A modern tyrant, one who proved that cruelty can be hidden behind distance, bureaucracy, and beautiful cities.